I think a second reason is that they imagine the gods in the constellation of the heavens. The constellation Orion may have represented the giant Gilgamesh fighting the bull of heaven. And there in the Epic of Gilgamesh or Gilgamesh, he's said to be 2 parts God and 1 part human. And he was a huge size. And the constellation Orion may have been seen as Baal with his outstretched right hand ready to strike. Another reason may be the huge natural and human-made buildings. For example, the pyramids. Giants must have built them. Humans couldn't possibly have lifted those big, huge stones and made this pyramid. Huge city walls may have made the 12 spies think that there were giants in them. The huge stones of Solomon's temple must have been placed there by giants or large demons. A legend says that the angel of the Lord gave King Solomon a ring of lapis lazuli so he could control the legions of demons to build his temple. The Testament of Solomon says that the archangel Michael gave Solomon a ring that has seal engraved on a precious stone. Josephus is the first to make mention of this ring. One of the most famous medieval works was the Key of Solomon, which was believed to be the key to unlock the mystery of the magical arts. Rabbis preserve this tradition that Hezekiah hid this book of Solomon. According to the tractate Giddith 68a of the Talmud, the ring was engraved with the divine name of God, so Solomon could control the demons and bring these huge blocks to build Solomon's temple. And if you've been to Israel and hear the Wailing Wall, you see these huge temple rocks and stones in place. And then if you go down underneath, you can see even larger blocks. And you wonder, how in the world could humans build this? And in ancient times, they thought there must have been giants or demons that built these these huge stones, pyramids, Solomon's temple, and other buildings and other natural phenomena. So in ancient times, we have the sons of El, we have the giants, and then in Persian times, it seems to switch that these sons of God are now angels, the giants, demons. And then today, there's some that say, no, these were aliens from outer space that came and built the pyramids and built these huge stones that you see, these megaliths. And where the aliens mix with the humans. Now, there's another interesting passage you can find in 1 Chronicles 20, verse 6, and 2 Samuel 21, 20. And it says, and yet again there was a war at Gath, and there was a man of great stature, whose fingers and toes were 24, 6 on each hand and 6 on each foot, and he also was the son of a giant. And here we have an article in Barr, which Richard Barnett states, polydactylism is a not uncommon inherited genetic abnormality, especially in closely interbred communities. It is less common encountered today, as cosmetic surgery in Western countries frequently eliminate the abnormality at birth. In the Levant, polydactylism, an excess of fingers and toes, was considered to be a mark of the Rephaim, a race of giants. If you were a giant, you apparently needed more fingers and toes. According to Genesis, the Rephaim were one of the peoples who lived in Canaan before the Israelite conquest. In Deuteronomy 3:11, we learn indirectly about the impressive statue of the Rephaim. Og, the last king of the Rephaim, possessed an iron bed 9 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. A cubit is about 18 inches, so Og's bed would measured over 13 feet in length. So he must have been another huge giant. Even if you look at the Philistines, we think of Goliath being very tall. And some of these are anthropoid coffins of the Philistines, and some of them have, you can see, fingers. They have 6 fingers instead of 5, and some of the toes, 6 toes. In Mesopotamian, priests and sorcerers were often consulted about the significance of polydactylism. Some of their conclusions appear in this 7th century Assyrian collection of omens called Summa Isba. And here are a few of them here. If a woman gives birth and the child has 6 fingers on the right hand, poverty will seize the house of the man. If a woman gives birth and the child has 6 fingers on the left hand, the mother is endowed with prosperity. The man's adversity will die. So here we can see all these incantations and about having 6 fingers or 6 toes or both of them. This is contemporaneous records indicates that the Mesopotamia, the birth of 6-fingered children, was a favorable sign if it had an extra finger on the left hand, and an omen, then prosperity of wealth would be upon them. However, if it was on the right hand, dire consequences were expected. So the formula seems to be if the left hand is good, the right hand means evil. At Jericho, they found a clay foot that had 6 toes on it from the excavation here. And even in Josephus, Book 5, we have, for which reason they removed their camp to Hebron, and when they had taken it, they slew all the inhabitants. This is talking about Joshua, and there were till them left the race of giants who had bodies so large and continents so different from other men that they were surprising to the sight and terrible to the hearing. The bones of these men were still shown to this very day, unlike any incredible relations of other men. Now this is talking about Hebron. And there were giants there, and Josephus says there are even the bones to this very day. But it looks nothing like men. It's so different. So what we're thinking here is that it was a skull of a mammoth or mastodon that they saw here, a huge skull. The jawbones look very similar to a man. And it was still, even to the day there of Josephus. Now, Josephus translates these as angels of God instead of sons of God. The angels of God accompanied with women and begat sons that proved unjust and despisers of all good. On account of this, of the confidence they had in their own strength. For the tradition is that these men did what resembled the acts whom the Grecians call giants. So this notion that fallen angels were in some sense the fathers of old giants was a widespread opinion in antiquity.